I'm okay.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this week's interview we're looking at a lesser known area of publishing, and that's what a literary scout might be doing. And here to tell us more is Soraya.
My job is a literary scout for a literary scouting agency. My job is basically to know what is going on between agents and publishers. We have foreign clients who are publishers or TV and film, and they pay us to read and find out all the manuscripts that agents are sending out, that publishers are buying, and we cater it to what they may personally be looking for or what works for their market in their country. What I do on a day-to-day basis is collate all the information of said books that are going out on submission and stuff, put it into like reports. I also read manuscripts and then write up reports for them, and I'm allowed to use my opinion a lot, which is really good. What's really cool about being a literary scout is a lot of it hinges on what you personally think or feel about the manuscript, which is exciting because it gives you a lot more freedom. My background in total is that I did a bachelor's degree in English literature, and I did a master's degree in creative writing. I started off in bookselling, in children's bookselling. I worked for Waterstones during that time. I worked for Waterstones for around like a year and a half. From being a children's bookseller, I went to being a lead bookseller, which is like you can lead a team and stuff like that. And I got to travel around to lots of different stores, which was really exciting. I got to travel around to Cambridge, to Crouch End, Deal, to Blackheath. I got to do a lot of exciting things. I worked in Waterstones' Piccadilly's flagship for quite a while. That's where I started. And then I became an editorial assistant for children's fiction at Egmont, and I also worked there for a year and a half. A lot of it was admin or doing a lot of scheduling stuff, and reading submissions. But what was really exciting was that towards the end I was able to like look at manuscripts from an editorial perspective, and I got to shadow edit stuff as well. And I got to help acquire 2 manuscripts, which was really exciting. After that, I left and I went into freelance writing for about 6 months, I think, which was really fun. It was really fun, but really hard. Like, you have to keep at it every day. You have to wake up as you would like to go to work at an office, but you're working from home, and you just throw out pitches, like pitch after pitch. After that, I joined my freelancing and to being a literary scout, so I can balance both during the week full time. Everything, absolutely everything, because it's like scouting is quite hidden in the dark. I think it's not secretive, I would say, but it's more just a bit of a grey area, because the role itself is a grey area because it sits in between, like I said before, agenting and publishing. So I'm not ever surprised when people were like, oh, what is that? Because I didn't know, honestly. When I first went into publishing, I had no idea, and it became a lot clearer to me once I became a scout. I'd say for right now, at least, the most challenging part is that everything has to be from home. Being a scout is a lot of like contact and a lot of like meeting people and getting along with people and building relationships, and it's really hard to do that when you're sat at home all the time. You're not allowed to go out and you're not allowed to meet people. You're literally blocked from doing all the stuff that you would usually be able to do. I'd say that's definitely the hardest part. Mostly nearly all of it, like apart from admin, because nobody likes admin, but pretty much all of it. I'd say like getting to connect with people, because I'm quite like, the nice way of saying it is that I'm quite chatty, whereas the real way of saying it is that I just talk too much, and I annoy people too much with trying to be friends with them. But that sort of personality type works quite well with being a literary scout, because you are always just talking to people, and well, now it's all through Zoom and phone calls, but you're always like just getting to know people and getting to understand what their tastes are like. Personally, for me, it never feels like work. It feels like I'm just connecting with people about their passions when it comes to what they love to read about and what they love to publish. And that's fun on my end too, because then I get to talk about the same stuff. And what's really nice is when you connect on that level. we have a lot of meetings. So we will have meetings with our clients just to catch up and see what their list is saying, what they're looking for, what they fancy reading and stuff like that. And then outside of our meetings with clients, we have meetings or phone calls or chats in general with agents, editors, and rights people on either side, rights people for agents or rights people for publishing houses. And it's again just to get similar things, what they're liking at the moment, what they're looking for, what they're excited about coming out and stuff like that. So it's quite meeting heavy, but they're fun meetings, so it's okay. My advice that I'd give to someone who's trying to get a similar role to mine is don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions to people, especially on platforms like Twitter and LinkedIn and stuff like that. Definitely reach out and ask questions. See if you can set up like an online chat or something where you can learn about everything they do in the day. I think what's the biggest issue is that a lot of people think like editorial or PR is the be all and end all, and it's really not. I thought that as well, and I say this a lot, I say this in a lot of like events and stuff like that. If I'd known what a literary scout was before I had like gotten into publishing, that would have been something I'd gone for like ages ago. I'm really glad I found it now, but it took a while. So definitely I'd say just like ask people questions. It's not necessarily even scouting, like you might find you have an interest in production, you might have an interest in rights, you might have an interest in sales. Like just don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions and like ask to learn what all these roles mean, because there are so many things out there that go underappreciated because of how much like editorial and stuff is idolized. And like it's a really good industry. There's so many amazing roles to do.
Hope you found that useful, and remember I post new interviews every Wednesday.